Okay. So my name is Sarah Day, and I am the acting course leader for the BA Honours Footwear courses here at Cordwainers at LCF.
Great, thanks Sarah. Could you tell us a little bit about your course please, and the aspirations you have for your course?
Yep, we are a 4-year BA Honours course here, teaching footwear design, and on that course we teach aspects of design process and technicity, and obviously part of that is to learn digital platforms to support footwear design. Aspirations for the course, well, I think that our biggest aspiration is to be the best, to provide the best course for footwear design in the country, or even worldwide, dare I say, and provide a excellent learning experience for our students and excellent education in footwear design for our students. That would be my aspiration for the course.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And how does your course design support those aspirations?
The course design supports those aspirations by we teach obviously design, and we teach technology in design through practical pattern cutting and making, but we also support the course digitally, and we have various platforms that we do that with, such as the workflow that we're going to discuss today, blogs, we have Rhino, which is 3D software for 3D printing and that kind of thing. We teach laser cutting, and we also teach the students the Adobe suite, so Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, those kind of things.
Excellent. So how does the digital really support your course?
Okay, well, the digital supports the course in many ways. First of all, the Adobe suite obviously supports the design work that the students do, so they learn Illustrator and Photoshop in the first year of the course that they're here. We also teach them how to apply those platforms to things like laser cutting machines and stuff like that, so they're extending the use of the Adobe programs like Illustrator in the laser cutting machines. We also teach Rhino in the second year of the course, and students are able to engage with Rhino 3D program and create heels and sole units and that kind of thing, and print components, 3D components for their footwear. The other great thing that we've started to use in the last 2 or 3 years is a UAL system we call Workflow, and Workflow has been fantastic because it's a kind of digital portfolio platform for the students, which they can use themselves to build a digital portfolio, or as we use it in context in the course, is that we use it as a very much as a collection of where the students can upload their work to, but also we use it as a collection of work where students will upload to a page, and then we're able to provide that page, a digital link to that page, to industry partners. So for example, last year we worked on a project with the high street chain H&M, and we had a digital workflow page set up where students uploaded their work to, and then we provided the link to H&M, and it was fantastic because H&M could then use the link to log into the page securely and view the students' work and see who's doing what and do a bit of talent spotting and see what good work there was on the page. And when you're working remotely with an industry partner like that, it's very difficult very often for them to come to the college and provide feedback for the students on a regular basis because of their work commitments. And so to have a live link that they can log into and they can see the work and keep up to speed with what the students are doing is really, really endlessly useful. So the Workflow platform really does support us digitally hugely on many levels.
And how much do you need to learn about the technology to get this up and running?
Myself, I only did the original Introduction to Workflow course that the UAL set up for tutors. So that's pretty much all I did. And I guess like all these things, I just practiced it and used it. And when I had spare time, I started setting up pages for the students and practicing and just getting used to using it, to be honest. I think it's like that with most of digital programs. I think you get shown the nuts and bolts, and then it's up to you how you kind of screw them together, really. So really I always say this to the students, you know, if you've been learning to use anything, Workflow, Illustrator, Photoshop, whatever it is, learn how to use it, but then go and use it, because that's the only way that you'll fully understand it and appreciate what uses it has. So yeah, not much is the answer to your question in short.
So what benefits have come from taking this approach?
Well, as I mentioned, the benefits really have been, you know, having a live link with the industry partners. That's the main benefit. You know, that's given us opened up all sorts of possibilities and made the students' work, you know, accessible to the industry client outside. I think that the other thing it is useful for and could be excellent is if students used it more for digital portfolios. I think it could be really useful in that respect. I think it's underused in that respect at the moment. I think students perhaps don't see the potential of having a protected digital portfolio within the UAL servers. You know, they tend to use digital portfolios provided by outside sources, and actually, you know, if we could increase the knowledge and understanding of how that is a great resource for them while they're here, I think that would be excellent.
And possibly showing them how to export maybe their portfolio into different formats when they leave.
Definitely, yeah, because I think one of the reasons that they may not be using it as a digital portfolio for themselves is that they don't fully appreciate that they can actually transport it. You know, like you mentioned, you know, package it all up and then put it into another program afterwards. I think they possibly feel that the digital portfolio, once they leave and they lose their login rights and everything, that they may not be able to access that work. I think if we made it very clear to them that they can do that and it is portable, then I think that would make a huge difference, perhaps, to the amount of students that are engaging with it on their own level rather than just, you know, using it in the course like we do. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
How have you framed the value of the approach to the staff students on the course?
I think with staff, I think it's important to underline to staff the value of it. So for instance, as we use it on footwear, you know, that we can have a live link with our industry partners. That's for us, I think, as tutors, that's one of the critical uses of it. Yeah, it's really key. You know, as I mentioned before, it gives accessibility to the outside partners, and it obviously means that our students are visible and that they can be talent spotted and whatever by the industry partner. I think that's really critical, because at the end of the day we're here working for the students and to you know, promote them and demonstrate that they're the best students for the job and that kind of thing. So I think emphasising to the staff how important that is important. I think that also with the staff, once we get the submission thing clear, I think that it'll be really useful for staff so that students can actually submit work through Workflow and do that easily, rather than it being, you know, cumbersome. So I think that will be also of great value, and I think that's something we can definitely again underline with the staff of how important that could be to what they're doing, and perhaps make their lives easier when it comes to assessing and stuff like that. If it's all in one digital space, then it quite often makes it a lot easier to review the work when you're assessing. With the students, I think, again, going back to my other point, was about underlining to them the importance of having a digital portfolio. You know, it's a place where they can store their work. It's a safety net for them, really. You know, many students don't back up their work, you know, and quite often we have disasters with hard drives exploding and you know, such like, dropping their hard drives in a puddle or whatever it is. And so for students, I think it's the value of having a digital portfolio space, somewhere where they can store their work, but also somewhere where they can just set up their own pages and use them as kind of links to send out to people when they're applying for jobs and stuff like that, you know, placements and such like. I think it's really very, very valuable. So we have mentioned it to them, so if we can underline it and stress the importance of it, I'm really hoping, you know, that the students will engage with it more fully and use it more fully.
Excellent.
Just hope you've got the service space, John.
Yeah, absolutely. That's being looked at. That's being increased. Absolutely. So when you're actually sharing your pages, or when the students are sharing their pages with university partners, how is that done?
What we basically do is at the moment, for instance, with the project that we worked on with H&M, let's use that as an example because that's past, rather than talking about current, because I don't know if I'm supposed to. the way that we've dealt with it in the past with H&M is that I set up a group page in my area, in my workflow area, because then I'm in control of it.
Yeah.
It's an open page, editable by everybody, which can be dangerous because we have had one occasion where it got deleted completely.
Okay.
But that's a one-off in 3 or 4 years, so you know we can write that one off as it, put that down to experience. It's open and editable by everyone, so pretty much what happens is I set the page up so that page was an H&M project page. All the students upload whatever they're required to at any particular given time, and then what happens is I make the page viewable to people who have the URL, the copy and pasted URL. So I can copy and paste the URL, I send it to our client, and I tell them very clearly, this is the link to the live workflow page, and if you click on this link, cut and paste it into your browser, whatever, you will be able to see the students' work that they're undertaking. I also stress to them the importance of keeping that link private and not sharing that link with anybody else. Just the people that have been emailed the link are permitted to view it. You know, when we finish the project, obviously I can lock that page and make it unviewable by a certain party. So there's never any danger of the students' work being ripped off or you know somebody being able to cut and paste work from there, because at the point when the project is finished, we actually lock the page and no one can see it except for anybody who's logged in, you know, through the UAL with a secure password and login. So yeah, I think that's pretty much how we use it.
What aspects of you, what aspects of you and staff and other students struggled with the most?
I think probably with staff, it's having the time to play with it and use it and get used to using it and find ways of using it creatively. I think that's probably the biggest problem for staff, is we're very time poor. You know, I think with the students, I think even though in this generation where the students are pretty tech savvy, I think sometimes we do have occasions where they don't quite understand how to use it properly. So we kind of do our best to sort of help them understand how to upload, how to, you know, load things into pages, how to create their own pages and that kind of thing. So I think it's just the biggest struggle is just getting people to use it and understand it, and when they get stuck, being able to help them.
Because there are lots of choices, aren't there? There are lots of things you can do with this. And,
I think, as you said earlier, I think that people who use workflow pages are in control of it. You know, there aren't, like you mentioned earlier, it's not like Facebook where you get given choices. It's about you being totally in control yourself. So there are no prompts to say, do you want to do this? Do you want to delete this? You know, literally you are in control of it yourself and making decisions about what goes in and what goes out and who you share the pages with and stuff. So yeah, I think that's true.
And do you have any other thoughts or reflections that you'd like to share with us about this? I mean, possibly your dream approach.
That question. I think, well, as we were talking about earlier, my dream approach would be to have an endless pot of money that we can plug in lots of extra things and, you know, provide as much support and tuition as we can. That would be my dream approach to everything. But yeah, I think realistically it would just be great if we could have you know, a massive pot of money that we could provide absolutely everything, you know, 3D printers and endless technology and all that kind of thing. But yeah, we all have to be realistic and work to a budget, and I think that's where we are.
Great. Thank you very much for talking to us.
No, my pleasure entirely.